Hello viewers, welcome back to Medical Tube. Today we are going to discuss some very important MCQs of biology. So let's start our video. Our first question is, fermentation products produced by the yeast are option A, water plus carbon dioxide, option B, methyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide, option C, methyl alcohol plus carbon monoxide, option D, ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide. So students, as you can see in this picture, that glucose is converted by yeast into ethanol plus carbon dioxide. This is basically the balanced equation of fermentation. So the correct option is option D, ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide. Coming to question number 2, in anaerobic respiration, only -% of the energy present within the chemical bond of glucose is converted into ATP. Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3, option D 4. So students, only 2% of the energy present within the chemical bond of glucose is converted into ATP. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question, question number 3. In which of the following component of the body lactic acid fermentation takes place? Option A heart, option B brain, option C liver, option D muscles. So students, lactic acid fermentation always takes place in muscles. So the correct option is option D. Question number 4 is, in alcoholic fermentation, pyruvic acid is broken down into option A acetaldehyde, option B methyl alcohol, option C ethyl alcohol, option D lactic acid. So pyruvic acid is broken down into ethyl alcohol. The correct option is option C. Our next question is, pyruvate is broken down to dash in yeast. Option A acetyl CoA, option B alcohol, option C lactic acid, option D all of these. So basically pyruvate is broken down to alcohol, ethyl alcohol. So the correct option is option B. Question number 6 is, lactic acid is produced as a result of option A glycolysis, option B anaerobic respiration, option C aerobic respiration, and option D all ABC. So students, lactic acid is always produced as a result of anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration is the one in which there is no air involved, no oxygen is used. So the correct option is option B. Coming to question number 7, which of the following is not respiration? Option A breakdown of glucose, option B formation of glucose, option C release of energy, option D exchange of gases. So students, formation of glucose does not occur in respiration. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question, question number 8. Oxygen plays dash role in respiration. Option A, it combines with acetyl CoA at the start of the Krebs cycle. Option B, it plays no role. Option C, it is given off as a byproduct during the oxidation of pyruvates. And option D, it is the final electron acceptor at the end of the electron transport chain. So the correct option is option D. It is basically the final electron acceptor at the end of the electron transport chain. Coming to next question, question number 9. What is the product of the ETC electron transport chain in animals? Option A oxygen, option B carbon dioxide, option C water, option D all of these. So the product of the electron transport chain in animals is water. The correct option is option C. Coming to next question, question number 10. Cytochromes are electron transport intermediates containing option A myoglobin, option B heme, option C globulin, and option D fibrin. So cytochromes basically contain heme. The correct option is option B. Coming to question number 11. How does the electron transport system generate ATP? Option A, symbiosis. Option B, chemiosmosis. Option C, both A and B. And option D, none of these. So the correct option is option B, chemiosmosis. Question number 13 is, final acceptor of electrons in respiratory chain is option A, NADH. Option B, cytochrome A3. Option C, water. Option D, oxygen. So students, we discussed it earlier. Oxygen is basically the final acceptor of electrons in respiratory chain. So the correct option is option D. Question number 14 is, cytochrome A is oxidized by which of the following in electron transport chain? Option A, carbon dioxide. Option B, oxygen. Option C, ATP. Option D, cytochrome A3. So students, basically cytochrome A3 oxidizes cytochrome A. So the correct option is option D. Coming to next question, question number 15. What is the copper containing protein involved in the electron transport chain in plants? Option A, PQ. Option B, PC. Option C, PT. Option D, PO. So basically PC is the copper containing protein involved in electron transport chain in plants. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question, question number 16. Coenzyme Q is oxidized by which coenzyme? Option A, coenzyme C. Option B, coenzyme Q. Option C, cytochrome B. And option D, cytochrome A. So the correct option is option C. Cytochrome B oxidizes coenzyme Q. Coming to next question, question number 17. Cytochrome B is reduced by option A, cytochrome C. Option B, coenzyme Q. Option C, NADH. Option D, cytochrome A. The correct option is option B. Coenzyme Q basically reduces cytochrome B. Coming to next question, question number 18. Cancer cells require large amounts of ATP. Which of the following produce high number of ATPs? Option A, glycolysis. Option B, Krebs cycle. Option C, oxidative phosphorylation. Option D, electron transport chain. So basically oxidative phosphorylation produces high number of ATPs. Question number 19. Enzymes for oxidative phosphorylation are present on option A, cristae. Option B, inner compartment. Option C, outer compartment. Option D, outer membrane. So the enzymes for oxidative phosphorylation are present on cristae. The correct option is option A. Coming to next question, question number 20. Electrons from NADH accepted by oxygen forms how many ATPs? Option A, 2. Option B, 3. Option C, 4. Option D, 1. The correct option is option B, 3 ATPs. Question number 21. Electron transport chain occurs in option A, inner membrane of mitochondria. Option B, outer compartment of mitochondria. Option C, thylakoid membrane. Option D, both A and C. So the correct option is option D, both A and C, inner membrane of mitochondria and thylakoid membrane. Coming to next question, question number 22. Terminal carrier of cytochrome complex present in electron transport chain. Option A, Q. Option B, C. Option C, A. And option D, none. The correct option is option C. Our next question is, NADH is oxidized by option A, coenzyme Q. Option B, cytochrome B. Option C, cytochrome C. And option D, cytochrome A. So basically NADH is oxidized by coenzyme Q. So the correct option is option A. Coming to next question, question number 24. FADH2 is produced during option A glycolysis, option B the oxidation of pyruvates, option C Krebs cycle, option D all of these. The correct option is option C. FADH2 is produced during Krebs cycle. Question number 25. Complete breakdown of glucose molecule takes place in which of the following? Option A alcoholic fermentation, option B lactic acid fermentation, option C aerobic respiration, and option D none of these. So students, complete breakdown of glucose molecule takes place in aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is the one that involves oxygen. So the correct option is option C. Our next question is, glycolysis takes place in option A nucleus, option B cytosol, option C mitochondria, option D ribosomes. So student, glycolysis takes place in cytosol. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question. Phosphofructokinase enzyme converts fructose 6-phosphate into option A fructose 1,4-phosphate, option B fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, option C bisphosphate, option D fructose. So basically phosphofructokinase enzyme converts fructose 6-phosphate into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question, question 28. What is the coenzyme that facilitates the oxidation of fumarate? Option A FAD, option B PADH2, option C NAD, and option D NADPH. So the correct option is option A FAD. Question number 29. Where does the first stage of cellular respiration occur? Option A cytosol, option B membrane surface, option C nucleus, option D all of these. So the first stage of cellular respiration occurs in cytosol. The correct option is option A. Coming to next question. Acetyl-CoA is completely oxidized to carbon dioxide and liberate option A NADH and FAD, option B NADP and FADP, option C ATP, option D ATP, NADH and FADH. So the correct option is option D. Acetyl-CoA produces carbon dioxide and ATP, NADH and FADH. Next question is, which process can take place in the presence and absence of oxygen? Option A glycolysis, option B pyruvic acid oxidation, option C Krebs cycle, option D electron transport chain. So the correct option is option A glycolysis. Coming to next question. What energy rich organic compound is produced as a result of the Calvin cycle? Option A NADPH, option B carbon dioxide, option C ATP, option D glucose. So the Calvin cycle produces glucose. So the correct option is option D. Coming to next question. Oxaloacetate combines with which molecule to enter the Krebs cycle again? Option A ATP, option B NADPH, option C FAD, and option D acetyl-CoA. So oxaloacetate combines with acetyl-CoA to enter the Krebs cycle. So the correct option is option D. Question number 34 is, hexokinase plays role in option A Krebs cycle, option B electron transport chain, option C glycolysis, option D pyruvate oxidation. So hexokinase plays role in glycolysis. So the correct option is option C. Coming to next question. Glucose is converted to dash before entering Krebs cycle. Option A pyruvate, option B lactic acid, Option C, acetyl-CoA, and option D, ethanol. So glucose is converted to pyruvate before entering Krebs cycle. So the correct option is option A. Next question is, hexokinase is the enzyme found in option A, glycolysis and pentose pathway, option B, pentose pathway only, option C, glycolysis only, option D, Krebs cycle. So students, hexokinase is an enzyme which is found in both the glycolysis and pentose pathway. The correct option is option A. Our next question is, succinate is oxidized and forms option A, FAD, option B, FADH, option C, FADH2, and option D, NADH2. So the correct option is option C, succinate is oxidized and forms FADH2. Next question is, if a molecule is reduced, it gains option A, energy, option B, electrons, option C, hydrogen protons, and option D, all of above. So students, when a molecule is reduced, it gains electrons. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question, ATP synthase is located in dash of the mitochondria. Option A, intermembrane space, option B, outer membrane, option C, matrix, and option D, inner membrane. So ATP synthase is basically located in inner membrane of the mitochondria. The correct option is option D. Question number 40 is, what is the final product of the Krebs cycle? Option A, malate, option B, succinate, option C, oxaloacetate, and option D, fumarate. So the final product of the Krebs cycle is oxaloacetate. The correct option is option C. Coming to next question, from one pyruvate passing through Krebs cycle, how many NADH are formed? Option A, 1, option B, 2, option C, 3, and option D, 4. The correct option is option C. 3 NADH are formed from one pyruvate. Question number 42. Cellular respiration is essentially what type of process? Option A, oxidation, option B, reduction, option C, redox, option D, none of the above. So cellular respiration basically involves both the oxidation and reduction. So it is a redox reaction. The correct option is option C. Coming to next question. What are the products of respiration in plants? Option A, carbon dioxide and water. Option B, carbon dioxide, water and ATP. Option C, glucose and water. Option D, none. So the correct option is option B. Our next question is, the payoff phase of glycolysis conserve option A, molecules of glucose, option B, ATP, option C, molecules of fructose, and option D, water. So basically the payoff phase of glycolysis conserves ATP. The correct option is option B. Question number 45. Fatty acid release considerable amount of energy in oxidation during option A, Calvin cycle, option B, Krebs cycle, option C, dark reaction, option C, light reactions. So the correct option is option B, in Krebs cycle. Question number 46. How many carbons does citrate have in the Krebs cycle? Option A, 5, option B, 6, option C, 8, option D, 4. So basically citrate has 4 carbons in Krebs cycle. The correct option is option D. Question number 47. What is formed at the end of the preparatory phase of glycolysis? Option A, G3P, option B, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, option C pyruvate, and option D both A and B. So the correct option is option D both A and B. Question number 48. End product of citric acid cycle, option A pyruvate, option B carbon dioxide and water, option C carbon dioxide, and option D lactic acid. So the correct answer is option B. Carbon dioxide and water are basically the end products of citric acid cycle. Question number 49. Oxaloacetate contains how many carbon atoms? Option A 4, option B 5, option C 6, option D 2. So the correct option is option A. Oxaloacetate contains 4 carbon atoms. Coming to question number 50. FADH2 is produced in option A glycolysis, option B pyruvic acid oxidation, option C Krebs cycle, option D none. So FADH2 is produced in Krebs cycle. So the correct option is option C. Question number 51. Hans Krebs discovered option A glycolysis, option B fermentation, option C pyruvate oxidation, option D citric acid cycle. So Hans Krebs discovered citric acid cycle. The correct option is option D. Coming to next question. Which of the following organisms have the highest problem with photorespiration? Option A C4 plants, option B heterotrophs, option C C3 plants, and option D CAM plants. The correct option is option C C3 plants. Coming to next question. In which stage of photosynthesis ATP and NADPH are converted to ADP plus phosphate and NADP? Option A light dependent reaction, option B light independent reaction, option C both of these, and option D none of the above. So the correct option is option B light independent reaction. Our next question is the stage of photosynthesis that actually produces sugar is dash. Option A Calvin cycle, option B photosystem 1, option C photosystem 2, and option D the light reaction. So students, the stage of photosynthesis that actually produces sugar is Calvin cycle. So the correct option is option A. Next question is ATP molecules are consumed during which process? Option A glycolysis, option B light dependent phase, option C Krebs cycle, option D none. So basically ATP molecules are consumed during glycolysis. The correct option is option A. Question number 56. Molecular oxygen is released during option A Calvin cycle, option B light reactions in photosynthesis, option C Krebs cycle, and option D glycolysis. The correct option is option B. Molecular oxygen is released during light reactions in photosynthesis. Question number 57. When is sugar formed in photosynthesis? Option A light independent reactions, option B light dependent reactions, option C both A and B, and option D none of these. So basically sugar is formed in light independent reactions. So the correct option is option A. Coming to next question. Which one is a light gathering structure? Option A antenna complex, option B reaction center, option C photosystem, and option D none of these. So basically antenna complex is a light gathering structure. So the correct option is option A. Coming to next question. Molecular formula of chlorophyll B is option A C55H10O4N6 magnesium, option B C55H70O6N5 magnesium, Option C, C55H71O6N4 magnesium. Option D, C55H70O6N4 magnesium. So the correct option is option D. Question number 60. Light reaction takes place in or on option A, chloroplast, option B, stroma, option C, thylakoids, and option D, grana. So the correct option is option C, thylakoids. Light reaction takes place in thylakoids. Question number 61. Kelvin cycle is option A, inhibited by light, option B, supported by light, option C, independent of light, and option D, dependent upon light. So Kelvin cycle is basically independent of light. So the correct option is option C. Question number 62. Rubisco converts addition of dash with RUBP to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Option A, ATP, option B, oxygen, option C, NADH, and option D, carbon dioxide. So the correct option is option D, carbon dioxide. Coming to next question. Location of dark reactions in chloroplast. Option A, inner membrane, option B, grana, option C, stroma, option D, thylakoid. So the correct option is option C, stroma. Dark reactions in chloroplast occur in stroma. Question number 64. How many number of carbon atoms are present in a molecule of Rubisco? Option A, 4, option B, 6, option C, 5, option D, 7. The correct option is option C. 5 carbon atoms are present in a molecule of Rubisco. Coming to next question. How many carbon atoms are present in ribulose phosphate? Option A, 5, option B, 4, option C, 6, option D, 3. So option A is the correct answer. Basically 5 carbon atoms are present in ribulose phosphate. Coming to our next question. It moves in cyclic manner in cyclic photophosphorylation. Option A, oxygen, option B, electrons, option C, ATP, and option D, NADPH. So basically electrons move in cyclic manner in cyclic phosphorylation. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question. How many molecules of carbon dioxide enter the Kelvin cycle to produce one molecule of carbohydrate? The options are option A, 2, option B, 3, option C, 4, option D, 1. So the correct option is option B. 3 molecules of carbon dioxide enter the Kelvin cycle to produce one molecule of carbohydrate. Question number 68. Which enzyme is found in the thylakoid membrane that facilitates chemiosmosis? Option A, ATP ligase, option B, ATP kinase, option C, ATP synthase, and option D, ATP dehydrogenase. So basically ATP synthase is found in the thylakoid membrane that facilitates chemiosmosis. The correct option is option C. Coming to question number 69. Out of the 6 molecules of G3P, how many molecules are used to make glucose? Option A, 1, option B, 3, option C, 2, option D, 4. The correct option is option A. Question number 70. What does ATP provide during photosynthesis? Option A, mechanical energy, option B, physical energy, option C, chemical energy, option D, all of these. So basically ATP provides chemical energy during photosynthesis. The correct option is option C. Coming to our next question, question number 71. Which reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme Rubisco? Option A, carboxylation of ribulose bisphosphate. Option B, conversion of triose phosphate to ribulose phosphate. Option C, oxidation of glycerate 3-phosphate. Option D, reduction of glycerate 3-phosphate. So the correct option is option A, carboxylation of ribulose bisphosphate. Coming to our next question, question number 72. Enzymes for light-dependent reactions are present in option A, outer membrane of the chloroplast. Option B, inner membrane of the chloroplast. Option C, stroma of the chloroplast. Option D, thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. So the correct option is option D, thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. Question number 73. The water splitting step of photosynthesis is called option A, chemiosmosis. Option B, hydrolysis. Option C, photolysis. Option D, photosynthesis. So the correct option is option C, photolysis. Our next question is, in photosynthesis, dark reaction is called so because option A, it occurs in dark. Option B, it does not require light energy. Option C, it cannot occur during daytime. Option D, it occurs more rapidly at night. So the correct option is option B. It does not require light energy. That is why it is called dark reaction. Coming to our next question. How much net gain of glyceride 3-phosphate is obtained after 1 Kelvin cycle? Option A 3, option B 6, option C 2, option D 1. So the correct option is option D. Coming to next question. Which one of these occur in dark reactions of photosynthesis? Option A, formation of ATP. Option B, release of oxygen. Option C, release of hydrogen. And option D, synthesis of PGAL. So the correct option is option D. Our next question is, the path of electrons through the two photosystems is called option A, S scheme. Option B, X scheme. Option C, Z scheme. Option D, Y scheme. So the correct option is option C. Question number 78 is, the G3P is the end product of option A, Krebs cycle. Option B, Kelvin cycle. Option C, chemiosmosis. Option D, electron transport chain. So the correct option is option B, Kelvin cycle. Coming to our next question, cooperation of the two photosystems of the chloroplast is required for dash. Option A, ATP synthesis. Option B, reduction of NADP. Option C, cyclic photophosphorylation. Option D, oxidation of the reaction center of photosystem 1. So the correct option is option B, reduction of NADP. Question number 80. The part of chloroplast where carbon dioxide is fixed to manufacture sugar is option A, stroma. Option B, grana. Option C, thylakoid. Option D, outer membrane. So the correct option is option A, stroma is the part of chloroplast where carbon dioxide is fixed to manufacture sugar. Coming to our next question. NADPH2 provides which of the following? Option A, assimilatory power. Option B, energized electron. Option C, chemical energy. Option D, both A and B. So students, NADPH2 provides energized electron. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question. The ATP synthesis in plants during the electron transport chain is called option A, photophosphorylation. Option B, photolysis. Option C, chemiosmosis. Option D, all of these. So the correct option is option A, photophosphorylation is basically the ATP synthesis. Question number 83. Which molecule passes the mitochondrial membrane to begin the Krebs cycle? Option A, ATP. Option B, acetyl-CoA. Option C, NADH. And option D, ADP. So the correct option is option B, acetyl-CoA. Our next question is, the most important photosynthetic pigment is option A, chlorophyll A. Option B, chlorophyll B. Option C, xanthophyll. And option D, carotenes. So the correct option is option A. Chlorophyll A is the most important photosynthetic pigment. Question number 85. For every 3 molecules of carbon dioxide in Kelvin cycle, how much G3P is produced? Option A 6, option B 2, option C 4, option D 8. So students, correct answer is option A. Question number 86. Find out the correct sequence for movement of electrons during the light dependent reaction. Option A, P680, P700 water NADP. Option B, water P700 NADP P680. Option C, P700 P680 NADP water. And option D, water then P60 P700 NADP. The correct option is option D. Option D is basically the correct sequence for movement of electrons. Question number 87. Photosystem 1 absorbs maximum wavelength of light. Option A 700, option B 600, option C 750, and option D 770. So the correct option is option A. Question number 88. Which two reactions occur during photophosphorylation? Option A, ATP is hydrolyzed and NADP is reduced. Option B, ATP is hydrolyzed and NADPH is oxidized. Option C, ATP is synthesized and NADP is reduced. In option D, ATP is synthesized and NADPH is oxidized. So the correct option is option C. ATP is basically synthesized and NADP is reduced during photophosphorylation. Question number 89. Photosystems are located in option A, stroma. Option B, chloroplast envelope. Option C, thylakoid membranes. And option D, intergranum. So the correct option is option C. Photosystems are located in thylakoid membranes. Our next question is, what are the different stages of the Kelvin cycle? Option A, carbon fixation. Option B, RUBP. Option C, reduction. And option D, A and C. The correct option is option D. Carbon fixation and reduction are the stages of Kelvin cycle. Question number 91. Carbon dioxide is fixed in option A, light reaction. Option B, dark reaction. Option C, aerobic respiration. Option D, anaerobic respiration. So students, carbon dioxide is fixed in dark reaction. The correct option is option B. Question number 92. The reaction of carbon dioxide and RUBP is catalyzed by option A, ATP synthase. Option B, globulin. Option C, rubisco. And option D, NADH dehydrogenase. The correct option is option C, rubisco. Question number 93. Chlorophylls are found embedded in the dash membranes. Option A, stroma. Option B, grana. Option C, thylakoid. And option D, intergrana. So students, chlorophylls are found embedded in thylakoid membranes. Coming to our next question, which statement correctly outlines some of the main events in photosynthesis? Option A 5 carbon carbohydrate accepts carbon dioxide and is then reduced by NADPH derived from photosynthesis. Option B, a 3 carbon carbohydrate is regenerated and reduced by hydrogen molecules derived from photophosphorylation. Option C, photolysis uses light to produce reduced NADP and oxygen, which are used to reduce a 3 carbon carbohydrate. Option D, photolysis produces NADPH and ATP, which are used to reduce a 5 carbon carbohydrate. So basically the correct option is option A. Actually 5 carbon carbohydrate accepts carbon dioxide and it is then reduced by NADPH derived from photosynthesis. So the correct option is option A. Our next question is, cooperation of the two photosystems of chloroplast is required for option A ATP synthesis, option B reduction of NADP, option C cyclic photophosphorylation, and option D oxidation of the reaction center of photosystem 1. So the correct option is option B reduction of NADP. Question number 96. It is most energy rich compound. Option A FADH2, option B ATP, option C NADH, and option D GTP. So the correct option is option C. NADH is basically the most energy rich compound. Question number 97. The synthesis of ATP in the presence of oxygen is called option A respiration, option B Calvin cycle, option C oxidative phosphorylation, and option D chemiosmosis. So the correct option is option C. Oxidative phosphorylation is basically the synthesis of ATP in presence of oxygen. Question number 98. Where does the molecular mechanism of oxidative phosphorylation take place? Option A cytosol, option B mitochondria, option C nucleus, option D all of these. So basically ATP synthesis takes place in mitochondria. So the correct option is option B. Our next question is, photosystem 2 has molecules which absorb maximum light of option A 680, option B 100, option C 700, option D 670. The correct option is option A. Question number 100. The point at which there is no net exchange of gases between leaves and atmosphere is known as option A neutral point, option B compensation point, option C parallel point, option D competitive point. So the correct option is option B. Compensation point is where there is no exchange of gases between leaves and atmosphere. The correct option is option B. Coming to question number 101. If more oxygen is present, the Robisco starts option A respiration, option B photorespiration, option C carboxylase, and option D none of these. So the correct option is option B photorespiration starts. Our next question is, which type of light causes the highest rate of photosynthesis? Option A blue, option B red, option C orange, option D violet. Basically red light causes the highest rate of photosynthesis. So the correct option is option B. Coming to our next question, about what percentage of photosynthesis is carried by terrestrial plants while rest occurs in ocean, lakes and ponds? Our options are option A 40, option B 10, option C 20, option D 30. So the correct option is option B. 10% of photosynthesis is carried by terrestrial plants. Question number 104. Which cells absorb carbon dioxide in leaf? Option A, neutrophil cells. Option B, basophil cells. Option C, mesophyll cells. Option D, all of these. So basically, mesophyll cells are present in leaf and they absorb carbon dioxide. So the correct option is option C. Coming to next question. Bacteriochlorophylls do not include which of the following? Option A, chlorophyll A. Option B, chlorophyll C. Option C, chlorophyll B. And option D, all of these. The correct option is option D. Coming to next question. The part of chlorophyll molecule that is embedded in the core of thylakoid membrane is option A, hydrophilic. Option B, hydrophobic. Option C, both of these. Option D, none of these. The correct option is option B. The part of chlorophyll molecule that is embedded in thylakoid membrane is basically hydrophobic. Question number 107. The electrons from ferredoxin to NADP are transferred by which enzyme? Option A, NADP oxidase. Option B, NADP reductase. Option C, ATP synthase. Option D, both A and B. So the correct option is option B, NADP reductase. Our next question is, molecular formula of chlorophyll A is option A, C55H10O4N6 magnesium. Option B, C55H70O6N5 magnesium. Option C, C55H71O6N4 magnesium. Option D, C55H72O5N4 magnesium. The correct option is option D. Question number 109. Wavelength of light that is mainly absorbed by the plants. Option A, orange. Option B, red. Option C, green. And option D, both A and B. So basically we discussed it earlier. Basically the red light is mainly absorbed by the plants and is used by plants for photorespiration. So the correct option is option B. Question number 110. The first action spectrum was obtained by option A, T.W. Engelmann. Option B, Melius. Option C, T.W. Innes. Option D, W. Stapes. The correct option is option A. Question number 111. First action spectrum was obtained by using option A, algae. Option B, fungi. Option C, bacteria. Option D, Spirogara. The correct option is option D. Coming to next question. Early organisms used dash as a source of hydrogen. Option A, water. Option B, hydrogen sulfide. Option C, hydrogen cyanide. And option D, hydrogen potassium permanganate. The correct option is option B. Hydrogen sulfide was basically used by early organisms as a source of hydrogen. Coming to next question. Water insoluble photosynthetic pigment. Option A, chlorophyll A. Option B, chlorophyll B. Option C, carotenoids. And option D, all of these. So basically all of these are water insoluble photosynthetic pigments. So the correct option is option D. Our next question is, photosynthesis is absent in option A, seaweeds. Option B, mushrooms. Option C, purple sulfur bacteria. Option D, angiosperms. So students, basically photosynthesis is absent in mushrooms. The correct option is option B. Coming to the next question. What is the color of xanthophyll pigment? Option A, yellow. Option B, red. Option C, orange. Option D, blue. Basically, the color of xanthophyll pigment is yellow. The correct option is option A. Coming to next question. Chlorophyll B is found in which organism? Option A, green plants. Option B, green algae. Option C, animals. And option D, both A and B. So basically, chlorophyll B is found in both the green plants and green algae. The correct option is option D. Coming to next question. What do two peaks in action spectrum represent? Option A, light absorption. Option B, consumption of carbon dioxide. Option C, light emission. Option D, both A and B. So the correct option is option B. Consumption of carbon dioxide basically represent the two peaks in action spectrum. The correct option is option B. Coming to our next question. These all are inorganic compounds except option A, NO2, option B, glucose, C6H12O6, option C, water, option D, H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So the correct option is option B. Glucose is basically an organic compound. Rest all are inorganic compounds. Coming to our next question. What is generated during non-cyclic flow of photosynthesis? Option A, ATP, option B, NADPH, option C, oxygen, option D, all of these. So basically, all of these are generated during non-cyclic flow of photosynthesis. So the correct option is option D. Coming to our next question, which is the correct order of energy transfer from accessory pigments to main photosynthetic pigment? Option A, carotenoids, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, option B, chlorophyll B, carotenoids, chlorophyll A, option C, carotenoids, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll A, option D, chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll B, then carotenoids. So the correct option is option C. Coming to our next question. What type of plant cells carry out photosynthesis? Option A, sclerenchymatous cells. Option B, parenchymatous cells. Option C, chlorenchymatous cells. And option D, both B and C. So basically, photosynthesis carries out in parenchymatous cells. So the correct option is option B. Coming to next question. Which chemical reaction occur during the process of photosynthesis? Option A, oxidation. Option B, reduction. Option C, both A and B. And option D, none of these. So basically, both oxidation and reduction occur during the process of photosynthesis. The correct option is option C, both A and B. Coming to next question. What is reduced during sugar production in photosynthesis? Option A, NADH. Option B, DNA. Option C, oxygen. Option D, none of these. So basically, none of these is present. The correct option is option D. Question number 124. Photosynthesis is process in which dash compounds of carbon and hydrogen are reduced to carbohydrate like glucose using light energy. Option A, organic. Option B, energy poor. Option C, energy rich. Option D, reduced. So basically, energy poor compounds of carbon and hydrogen are reduced using light energy. The correct option is option B. Question number 125. Magnesium is important for the synthesis of which of the following? Option A, chlorophyll. Option B, protein synthesis. Option C, glucose metabolism. Option D, all of these. Basically, magnesium is important for synthesis of chlorophyll. The correct option is option A. Question number 127. Van Niel's hypothesis about the production of oxygen during photosynthesis was based on the study and investigations on option A, bacteria, option B, algae, option C, protonema, option D, cyanobacteria. So the correct option is option A, bacteria. Question number 128. Rate of photosynthesis does not depend upon option A, quality of light, Option B, intensity of light. Option C, duration of light. And option D, temperature. So the correct option is option A, quality of light. Our next question is quantitative study of energy relationships in biological systems obeys option A, bioenergetics. Option B, laws of thermodynamics. Option C, laws of thermochemistry. Option D, laws of chemical energetics. So the correct option is option B, laws of thermodynamics. Our next question is the graph that shows relative effectiveness of different wavelengths in photosynthesis is option A, actin spectrum. Option B, action spectrum. Option C, absorption spectrum. Option D, emission spectrum. So the correct option is option B, action spectrum. Our next question is the percentage of light absorbed by the leaf is option A, zero point 0.2. Option B, 0.15. Option C, 0.05. Option D, 0.01. So basically 0.01% of light is absorbed by leaf. The correct option is option D. Coming to next question, which of the following statement about the head of a chlorophyll molecule is incorrect? Option A, it is a porphyrin ring or tetrapyrrole ring structure. Option B, it is flat, square and light absorbing. Option C, composed of carbon and nitrogen atoms with magnesium as central metal ion. Option D, it is hydrophobic. So the correct option is option D. It is not hydrophobic. Question number 133. What does NADPH2 provide during photosynthesis? Option A, energized electron. Option B, uncharged electron. Option C, energy. Option D, all of these. The correct option is option A. NADPH2 provides energized electron during photosynthesis. Our next question is carotenoids perform protective function in which of the following organism? Option A, animal. Option B, plants. Option C, both A and B. And option D, none of these. The correct option is option C, both animal and plants. Question number 135. Chlorophyll molecule contains which of the following as a central metal ion? Option A, iron. Option B, zinc. Option C, copper. Option D, magnesium. We have discussed it earlier. The correct option is option D. Magnesium is basically the central metal ion in chlorophyll. Question number 136. In all plants, the major sites of photosynthesis are option A, leaf. Option B, stems. Option C, roots. Option D, branches. The correct option is option A, leaf. Our next question is the organisms able to use sunlight directly as a source of energy are option A, plants. Option B, animals. Option C, fungi. Option D, omnivores. The correct option is option A, plants. Our next question is which one is not an energy releasing process? Option A, glycolysis. Option B, photosynthesis. Option C, respiration. Option D, Krebs cycle. So the correct option is option B. Photosynthesis is basically not an energy releasing process. Question number 139. Which pair of areas within a chlorophyll will show the steepest pH gradient between them? Option A, DNA and stroma. Option B, ribosome and stroma. Option C, stroma and the space between the outer and inner membrane. Option D, stroma and the thylakoid interior space. The correct option is option D, stroma and the thylakoid interior space. Our next question is excretory products of autotrophic plants. Option A, carbon dioxide. Option B, oxygen. Option C, water. Option D, all of these. The correct option is option B, Oxygen is basically excretory product of autotrophic plant. Question number 141. Autotrophs live best in dash environment. Option A wet, option B terrestrial, option C organic, option D inorganic. The correct option is option D. Autotrophs live best in inorganic environment. Coming to next question. It is false about ATP. Option A, it is an RNA nucleotide. Option B, it provides energy for cellular reactions. Option C, it is produced by endoplasmic reticulum. Option D, all of these. So the correct option is option C. Question number 143. Breaking of terminal phosphate of ATP releases about dash kilocalories of energy. Option A 6.1, option B 6.3, option C 7.1, option D none of these. So the correct option is option D. Question number 144. Primary function of ATP is option A act as catalyst, option B allosteric modulation of enzymes, option C energy source, option D to store energy. The correct option is option C. It is basically an energy source. Question number 145. One of the most important molecules found in living organisms is ATP. What is its major function? Option A energy source of the cell, option B coenzyme, option C cofactor, option D both A and B. We discussed it earlier. Correct option is option A. It is basically the energy source of the cell. Question number 146. Which one is dollar of the cell? Option A ATP, option B DNA, option C chromosome, option D enzyme. The correct option is option A ATP. Question number 147. At which times there is no net gaseous exchange between leaves and the atmosphere? Option A day, option B night, option C dawn and dusk, option D midnight. The correct option is option C. There is no net gaseous exchange between leaves and the atmosphere in the dawn and dusk. Question number 148. Which of the following is a compensation point? Option A. Leaves respire and utilize oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Option B. Photosynthesis and respiration occur at same rate, so there is no net exchange of gases between atmosphere and plants. Option C. Rate of photosynthesis increases, so do the oxygen production, with a net release of oxygen coupled with the uptake of carbon dioxide. Rate of respiration becomes more than rate of photosynthesis. So the correct option is option B. Compensation point is basically when there is no net exchange of gases between atmosphere and plants, and photosynthesis and respiration occur at the same rate. Question number 149. Photosynthetic pigments are organized in form of option A clusters, option B stacks, option C photosystems, option D both A and B. The correct option is option C photosystems. Question number 150. Evolution of pollen tube is parallel to the evolution of which of the following? Option A leaf, option B flower, option C seed, option D plant. The correct option is option C. Question number 151. Which cells regulate the opening and closing of the stroma? Option A neutrophil cells, option B guard cells, option C mesophyll cells, option D basophil cells. The correct option is option B. Guard cells basically regulate the opening and closing of the stroma. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe for more educational videos. See you in the next video.